Seahawk fans? This is Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner, and we need to discuss why the Seahawks beat the Carolina Panthers, but more importantly, why that means the Seattle Seahawks are going to continue to win football games. Because the way the Seahawks beat the Panthers is the way that they are going to beat most teams if they are going to go a run in the NFL postseason. Most importantly, they're going to have to beat the San Francisco 49ers in Week 18. At the time of this recording, they're still in the middle of a dogfight against the Chicago Bears. Will be interesting to see how that one ends, but I want to focus more on our team. Make sure you hit that sub button if you love daily Seahawks content that you don't want to miss out on, and hit that share button. Share the video on social media so that way other people understand that you know ball when it comes to the Seattle Seahawks and why they keep winning football games. So first, I want to talk about this defense because that is the main reason why the Seahawks keep winning football games. John Schneider has gone out and found the right talent and the right players to surround the Seahawks defense with. And then Mike Macdonald has molded and helped create, I would say, the best defense in the National Football League. At worst, they're the third best, right? At worst, they're the third best. Some people are going to say, well, advanced analytics, I'm going to be more favorable towards the Broncos. Or some people say, I'm advanced analytics, I'm going to be more favorable to the Texans. Kudos to them. This Seahawks team, we have 13 wins with a legit shot at 14 wins. So no matter how good those teams are, in my eyes, we are going to be better. Now, in this game, I think it perfectly illustrates how the defense is able to win on all sides of the football and in all the three different position groups. And we'll go through those individually. So the first position group that I want to talk about is that in that front seven, right? The defensive line. Edge rushers are going to be involved in that too. And that's where DeMarcus Lawrence comes in. DeMarcus Lawrence has a big game in this one, comes up, forces a fumble, has a big sack, has a lot of tackles in this game. But what I think was most impressive about him, as well as Uchenna Nwosu, is they were constantly after Bryce Young. There was never a point where Bryce Young could feel comfortable. There was never a point in this game where Bryce Young could feel safe. It was always, and I mean always, under duress he was, Bryce Young, when he was trying to throw the football. That's because this defensive line is really stinking good. You were able to hold the Panthers to 40 yards passing. That wasn't just because everyone was covered downfield. That was because the Seahawks were doing a great job of not letting Bryce Young get comfortable in the pocket. A lot of errant throws. Those were forced by the Seahawks. I felt like Bryce Young did a good job of understanding when to throw the football away so he didn't take an extra hit or when to run himself. But that's because of this defensive line and how tenacious they are and how uncomfortable they make opposing quarterbacks feel. That is a game that was wet. It was sloppy. It could be difficult for a defensive lineman to pin their ears back and go because they have to be in this controlled rush because Bryce Young has decent legs. I'm not saying he's Lamar Jackson, but he's got decent legs. Yet it doesn't stop the Seahawks defense. And this week it was a lot of DeMarcus Lawrence. Boye Mafe had a couple of big plays. Uchenna Nwosu. And you didn't hear as much from Leonard Williams or from Byron Murphy. Now, they still had their plays. They still had their tackles. But it wasn't like their big game. Well, could and very easily will probably change next week. They are so deep on that defensive line. They can just cycle through guys. And the reason John Schneider's on the thumbnail is because he's out here supporting a guy who shouldn't have even been suspended, who's on that edge rusher unit, and that's Derek Hall. So not only are they deep and can be deeper, they are playing at a high level right now where at any point, whoever the hot guy is, whoever the hot hand is, they can just come in and absolutely ball out and completely change games. Yeah, I feel pretty damn good about that crew. And they got better because they got Riley Mills to play this year, who, by the way, if you're not watching those interior D-line reps, you should. He's really effing good. This is the worst he'll ever be, by the way. Coming off of a torn ACL, not even a full year after, or barely just got to a full year after he tore his ACL, he's balling out. I'm pretty excited about what that kid can do. Next, at that linebacker position, I'm talking about Drake Thomas, I'm talking about Ernest Jones, and I'm going to throw Nicky Manwari in here because of the way he plays that big nickel. Like, he kind of is a linebacker, kind of is someone that plays a safety position. Like, he's just such an amoeba. He's such a freak. He can do whatever he wants. The kid is special, man. Those linebackers are special. Guys get tackled in space against them. No one gets free. There's no free runners. There's not a whole lot of big plays against the Seahawks that aren't big pass plays. You don't see a bunch of missed tackles and then a big run after the catch or a big run for a running back because Seahawks get dudes down on the ground. This team is scary good, and their tackling is superb. It's hard to tackle guys in space, and this team does it really well. Ernest Jones, Drake Thomas, Uchenna Nwosu, they don't get blocked. You don't block them one-on-one. And they might not make the tackle, they might not make the play, but they make the play happen. And I think that's important to note as well. This team is special. This team is very special. And I'm going to talk about what was going on in the secondary, but I do need to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It is the holiday season, the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It is all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels good to be right. And that, of course, is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on any 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if your picks are right, you could cash in. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off, which ones are overhyped. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. The secondary. Julian Love was the one who was going to be the face of this game. He had the interception. He led your team in tackles. He was flying around. Ty Okada doing the same deal. Filling in for an injured Kobe Bryant. It's like Kobe never even left. He played incredibly well, and no one beat him when he came up for a tackle. He won those reps. Ty did. This secondary is special because you have corners like Reek Woolen who are long and rangy. Devin Witherspoon is a freak of all freaks, can play everywhere. I guess I have to consider Uchenna Nwosu a secondary player too because that's technically what he is. There's no one who can do the different things that he can do. This defense is the best defense ever, in my mind, in Seattle. What they can do and what they're asked to do, no one else can keep up with. I think they are the best. I'll let you tell me down below in the comments. But with what they're able to do from top to bottom, I think it is even more impressive than what the Legion of Boom was able to do. Because what the Legion of Boom did so well was they had 2 guys who could rush the passer fairly well. They had a star middle linebacker. And then they had a secondary unit that was loaded with 3 stars and 3 special players that could do things that nobody else could. I would say this defense is better because I would say they got 5 guys that can get after the passer. I think that they have 5 guys that can do it. Now that linebacking unit, Ernest Jones is no Bobby Wagner. I'm not here to pretend that. But he's a pretty darn good Walmart version of him. He's playing exceptionally well right now and he's going to be a Pro Bowler. Second in the NFL in interceptions. Drake Thomas has been maybe the most pleasant surprise that we have ever seen in Seattle. It was supposed to be nothing. Nobody. Wasn't even supposed to make the team. He's starting and one of the best players on this defense. I can't imagine this defense without him. And then when you look at the secondary, I mean, shoot. Julian Love's been fantastic. Ty Okada's been fantastic this year. Kobe Bryant, before he got hurt, unbelievably good. Uchenna Nwosu is going to be the defensive rookie of the year. This defense is why we win games. This defense is why we beat the Carolina Panthers. This defense is why we are going to win playoff games. This defense is why we are going to win anything that we do. The offense is fine. They're good. Really good. This defense is special. And that's why we continue to win football games. It's why we're going to win football games. Like I said, let me know down below in the comments, is this the best Seahawks defense ever? Last, I want to talk a little bit on Rashid Shaheed, give you an update there. He left the game. He's obviously in concussion protocol. What does that mean for next week? No real initial lean right now. It's not fair to do that. Concussions are the most finicky injuries that you have in the National Football League. Just because there is a baseline test and you have to pass it. You can't say, well, I'm 80% and go out and play like you could with a bum shoulder or a bum leg or whatever. You can't go, oh, my head's at 80% and I can go play. That just isn't how it works. So it does worry me. Are the Seahawks going to be able to go into San Francisco and perform at the level that they need to without Rashid Shaheed? I know that offensively, there's some things that I wish Seattle used and did with him more, but special teams wise, he's invaluable. He's your most valuable player that you've had. He's Percy Harvin with a bad PR team. Because we should talk about him the way that we talk about Percy Harvin, but we don't because he went to Weber State and Percy Harvin went to a Florida team and won an Natty. That's why. This guy is electric. At any moment, he can go. He's the most athletic guy on the field every time he touches the football. So let's find a way to make him touch the football more when he's available. And if he's not going to be available for this game, that could be a big injury. Are you worried about the Rashid Shaheed injury? Yes or no? Let me know down below in the comments. Make sure if you say you're not worried, I do need to see your sources. So make sure you let me know on that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Really appreciate everyone who came to the watch party. It was fun to watch this Seahawks team win. And now it's on to the 49ers. Got to find a way to beat them in San Francisco. Let's go do this thing. Let's get that NFC West crown, and let's go get the NFC 1 seed so we can get a bye and get healthy. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Share the video on social media. Help us grow the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.